Hey guys, it's Colin, and today we are going to learn how to make a tower defense game in Scratch. So it's kind of like BTD, like, Boon Tower's Defense, if you've ever played that before. So let's just see this. Okay, so first you have like a cannon, right? And then you can place it down to shoot at enemies. And then the more enemies you kill, the more money you get. And then you're trying to kill the enemies. So you can see, like, if the enemies get through, then you're gonna take damage. I'll let you guys see. We'll let that red thing get through, right? And I guess the yellow one. Yeah, see, my base just took damage. So that's basically how this game works, and you can't place it on the tracks or anything. So let's click stop, and let's get right into it. Okay, so first of all, open up a new Scratch project. And like always, take your scissors, get rid of the cat, we don't need him. But what we do need, if we look back here, there's this like background with a track, with grass and a track, okay? So we're gonna make that first. So over here in the bottom left hand corner, click on this paint new backdrop button. It looks like a paintbrush. And then you take our rectangle tool, okay? Make it like completely filled. And then take a nice green color, something that looks at least kind of like grass. And just draw a rectangle that covers the entire thing. And that's, there we have our grass, okay. So, right now we need the path. And for the path, we're still going to use our rectangle tool. But we're going to select a kind of brownish color. That's something that looks like a path, okay. And then you can start in the middle and just use a rectangle tool to draw a path. Okay, so like that, and then maybe we're gonna go down. Yes, and then if you mess up, you can always just use your like the square dragging things. However, that's not perfect. And you know why? We didn't convert to vector mode. So if we convert to vector mode, then actually we're just gonna have to like Control Z all of this. See, remember, you always want to convert to vector mode, or that might happen. So same thing in vector mode. Take the rectangle tool, draw this. So first path, second path. Now you don't have to copy me completely, just you can try make your own path, right? Make sure, see, I still messed up here, right? But that's no problem. If we take the select tool, we can click on it, and then it selects it again. And here we are. So, I'm just gonna make a pretty basic path. You don't have to copy me though. You can make any sort of complicated path you want. But I warn you, don't make it that complicated. Because, our enemies aren't that smart. And if you make it too complicated, if you make the path too complicated, it might be a little complicated for you to do too. So I'm just gonna jump cut to when I'm done. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, and I'm back. So here's what my path looks like. Yours doesn't have to look like mine, as long as it's a path. And this is basically all we need, so go back to scripts. And let's look back here for a second. You see we have our cannonball thingy, and I mean a cannon and our cannonball. We don't actually have to make that, because if you remember in our first project, remember our Angry Birds cannon shooting thing? There's this candy thing called a backpack, see, where you can carry your cannon. And I already have them in here, but I'll show you how to get them. So make sure your project's saved, and then go into your stuffs folder. And then scroll all the way down. Find your cannon project. Here we are. And so we have our cannonball and cannon, right? So we look up, and then bring your backpack up, and you'll see we can just drag our cannon and cannonball in there, because your backpack, it can hold blocks of code or even entire sprites. So then I already have them in there. I won't drag them in again. but you do not. So just click this, click your cannon, drag it in, click your cannonball, drag it in, and then once you have that, we're all done. Go right back to your project. Yes, and then from your project, you can drag the cannon and cannonball in. So once you have that, we don't actually need this previous code to get rid of it. Okay, and let's start having our cannon being able to be placed down. Okay, so what we're gonna do is have our cannon follow our mouse around, right? And then every time you click, then it places something down. So we go to events, then do when this green flag is clicked. Okay, so it's pretty simple. We go to control, forever, and then motion, go to mouse pointer. So now it's going to be following us around everywhere. But as you can see, when I click, nothing's happening. So we can do something about that. Now we do when this sprite is clicked. Okay, we can do control first, create a clone of myself. Okay, but then we can try this out and it works. But as you can see, we can create the clones on top of the track, and that is a big no-no. So the way we're gonna fix that, we still in control. We're gonna take an if statement, put it around the create clone of myself, and then if we can do if operators, and we do not. So we're gonna do like an if it's not touching this color, okay, because the color is only our path has that color. So if not, and then sensing touching color, and then take the color of the path. So if not touching that color, then create a clone of myself. So now let's try it. Yep, it works. Here we are, fully working. So that's basically actually all we need for our canyon. Except, okay. So now we only need one more thing. When we're putting it down, it's just pointing that direction. It's not actually facing us. So we go control, and then when I start as a clone, forever, motion, and point towards mouse pointer. There is, okay, so this works, right? Yep. Here we have some working cannons. So let's do something with their cannonball. So for the cannonball, we only have one cannonball, and then every time we click, we're creating a clone of the cannon, right? So really the only thing we can do, we can take a clone, we can like go to data. Okay, you see this make a list? So we can have a list of all the cannon's X and Y coordinates, and then we can just loop through that list and then create a cannonball clone there, right? And then those cannonball clones can just repeatedly shoot out. So we can go to events when this green flag is clicked, and then we do first looks hide, because we don't want to, we're just creating clones of the cannonball, and we're not like, the cannonball is just going to be like here the entire time. We don't want to see him, right? So now we go to data, and then do make a list. And for all sprites, we call it cannon X, and then make another one called cannon Y, because it's going to store the cannon's X and Y coordinates, and then just remove those, uncheck them. What the heck? Yes, uncheck them. We don't want to see them. And this time we go control. First, we want to loop, like take a forever loop out, because the forever loop, we never want to stop looking through the cannon's X and Y list, because if we stop, then the cannon stops shooting, and we don't have a mechanic like that. So yeah, so forever. And then to actually loop through the cannon, we're actually going to need a separate variable, because it's kind of like a loop variable, because like you're looping through the list, right? But then you need some variable to keep track of what number you're on, so you can access something inside the list. So we're just gonna call it I, because in actual coding, you're gonna have like a for loop or something, and then you usually use I, J, K, L. Yeah. So for this right only, and okay. Uncheck it too. So first we want to do set I to 0, because we have to start from the beginning of the list. And then we go control, and then take out another repeat loop. And then so this we're going to be looping through canon X and Y. And since the length should be the same, right, we can just use any length of anything. So we would take a length of canon Y and repeat length of canon Y. After that, change I by 1, because every time we loop once, we want to add 1 to I. Okay, and then control, create, no, it's actually going to be motion, and then go to data, item 1 of canon Y, and then put item 1 of canon X in X, and item 1 of canon Y in Y. Okay, and then I, and I. So item I of canon X and item I of canon Y. Now, if we do that, it's gonna be like a super machine gun. So we're actually gonna put wait 0. We'll do 0.5 seconds. Okay, just put a tiny pause inside of it. And then of course we can't forget create a clone of myself. So that's actually all you need for this part. And then for this, we so once we create a clone, we want to do when I start as a clone. Okay, so we want the cannonball to be shooting like where the cannon's pointing, right? So then the cannon's pointing at the mouse pointer, so pretty simple. We do point towards mouse pointer. So then you go to control and take out a repeat 10 loop. Okay, and then we're just going to do motion move 10 steps, because we don't want to move it super far. Now, there are actually a couple problems with this code. If you've noticed, first of all, we've hid our cannonball up here, so then we're not going to be able to see our cannonball when it starts as a clone. So this simple solution, go to looks and put a show above here. And another thing, if the cannonball isn't like at the front, then it's gonna like, it could be traveling behind the cannon, so then you'll lose sight of it, or even behind a mob, so that's not gonna be good. So we do go to front. And there's actually one more problem. There's nothing in canon X and Y, because we just created the list, right? So we just go to canon X, we go to canon, okay? And then first we want to go to data, and then delete item 1 of canon Y and take another one. So we want to do delete all of canon Y and delete all of canon X. So just so there's nothing starting if we like inside it if we restart. And then this time we want to do this, and then inside this one, this right is clicked, we want to do add thing to canon Y and another add thing to canon Y, then go to motion. So we want to do add X position to canon X and Y position to canon Y. Okay, so now we actually have variables inside here. Okay, now let's try this out. Okay, click the green flag. Ooh. Yes, now our cannon is shooting. That's going to be it for today. We have built our cannon and cannonball and have our stage. Next time we are going to finish this up and then add an enemy. So to be sure you don't miss that video, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys next time.